on the hot stove and leave it there all day. And they thought you should be able to do it because everybody else can, right?
Right.
What if the sound of the lights or the fan in here were louder than the sound of my voice? For most people, it's not something that you have to deal with. But for people with sensory processing disorder, that's how they live their lives every day. So you may be asking yourself, why haven't I heard of this before? Who gets this and why? What can we do to learn more about this, and what can I do to help? Well, what sensory processing disorder is what Dr. Jean Ayers, who is one of the founders of the term sensory processing disorder, and also someone who has done a lot of research in this area and helps provide a lot of information for people. She describes it as a neurological traffic jam. So what we talk about is, this is in relation to senses, which would be touch, sight, sound, and they've also added like motion is one of the things that is newer to that. And basically for most people, those things come in through your senses, you process them, and your brain knows how to respond. For people with sensory processing disorder, it's like a traffic jam. It comes in, but their brain doesn't know how to digest those things or react to them. So in turn, you get a lot of behaviors that would be considered negative in that way. So it's very difficult for them to live each day dealing with these things. So who gets it and why? Most people are diagnosed with this as a child. It's something that parents normally notice their child are having difficulty dealing with different sensory issues. And the reason why, mainly from the research that's been done, is that it's genetics. There also can be some environmental factors, but that's what we found is the most big factor in this is genetics. So some of the ways they treat that is through occupational therapy and physical therapy, helping kids be able to process these things at a more normal level or be able to cope with them on a regular basis. So why have you never heard of this, you may be asking? Part of the reason is because it is not actually in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual that's used for mental disorders. And the reason for that is because it is something that's fairly new, but it's also because a lot of people that have this also have comorbid disorders like autism, developmental disabilities. So it's really hard to have a baseline to be able to go off of to do research on this because there are other things going on a lot of times with it as well. So that's one of the reasons why the medical field is struggling with it, but it is something that is becoming more and more known that I think people will hear about more and more in the future. So you may want to know how to help. You can help by what you're doing right now, listening and making an effort to learn more about sensory processing disorder, about being patient and non-judgmental towards people you see maybe having some of these negative behaviors, because it could be that they're dealing with some sensory issues. And then also just to tell other people about it so that they're more aware of it. You may think it's something that people can just get over, and everybody's got this to a degree, but what we're looking at is people that are having major problems in their everyday life dealing with these issues. So you can use it to try to better understand people's behaviors and try to increase public awareness for sensory processing disorder.